The galaxy had always considered humans a young species. They crawled out from their small blue planet only 3 centuries ago. They smiled too much. They talked about friendship and cooperation. They built trading stations instead of warships. The Galactic Council watched them with amusement, the way one might watch a child learning to walk. The Empire was not amused. Ambassador stood before the Galactic Council for the 7th time in 2 years. Her hair had turned gray during these visits. Her once hopeful eyes now carried shadows that came from watching too many funerals. Behind her, a holographic display showed images that made several council members look away in disgust. 18 colonies, she said, her voice steady despite the anger burning in her chest. The Empire has destroyed 18 human colonies. 47 million of our people are dead. We have come to this council again and again asking for justice. We have followed your laws. We have submitted evidence. We have been patient. The representative, a tall creature with scales like polished obsidian and eyes that held nothing but cold contempt, made a sound that might have been laughter. His name was Overlord, and he had personally ordered the destruction of 12 of those colonies. The humans exaggerate, said dismissively. These were territorial disputes. The humans expanded into space that belongs to the Empire. We simply removed an infestation. His hands trembled, not from fear, from restraint. We purchased those territories legally, she said through gritted teeth. We have the contracts, we have the payments. We followed every rule this council has ever created. And still, you burned our homes. You killed our children. You laughed while our people screamed. The council chairman, an ancient being from a species so old they had forgotten their own origin, raised a thin appendage for silence. The council has reviewed this matter extensively. While we acknowledge that the loss of life is regrettable, we cannot find sufficient evidence to condemn the Empire. The matter is closed. Stared at the chairman for a long moment. Something changed in her eyes. The hope that had somehow survived through 18 massacres finally died. In its place, something harder took root. Regrettable, she repeated softly. 47 million lives, regrettable. She reached into her coat and pulled out a small device. Several guards moved forward, but she held up her other hand. It's just a transmitter. I'm sending a message. To whom? Asked, still wearing that superior expression that had grown to despise more than anything in the universe. To Earth, answered. She pressed a single button and spoke 3 words that would change the galaxy forever. We tried peace. Then she turned and walked out of the council chamber without looking back. Laughed again. Humans so dramatic, what will they do? Write angry letters. The council laughed with him. They had no reason to fear humanity. Humans were weak. Humans were soft. Humans believed in silly things like mercy and forgiveness. The galaxy had survived for billions of years because the strong crushed the weak. Humans would learn this lesson or they would die. It was simple. What the council did not know, what the entire galaxy had failed to understand, was that they had never seen humanity's true nature. They had only seen what humans chose to show them. On Earth, the message arrived at 3:47 a.m. in Geneva. Secretary General was already awake. He had been expecting this call for months. He had hoped it would never come. He had prepared for it anyway. Within 1 hour, every human leader on every colony, every ship, every station in the galaxy received the same message. Within 2 hours, a vote was held. It was unanimous. Within 3 hours, Operation Prometheus was activated. Deep beneath the surface of Earth, in facilities that had been built in secret over the past 50 years, things began to wake up. Machines that had never been used. Ships that had never flown. Weapons that the galaxy could not imagine because no species in galactic history had ever been crazy enough to build them. Humanity had come to the stars with open hands. They had offered trade and friendship. They had built hospitals on alien worlds. They had shared their music and their art. They had been kind because they wanted to be kind. but they had also remembered their history. Humans remembered the wars that nearly destroyed their own world. They remembered the weapons they had created to fight those wars. They remembered what they were capable of when kindness failed. So while they smiled and traded and made friends, they also prepared, just in case. The case had arrived. 3 weeks after this message, the Empire launched another attack. They hit Colony Sigma 7, a small agricultural settlement of 12,000 people. They expected the same easy victory they had enjoyed 18 times before. They were wrong. When the fleet dropped out of hyperspace, they found themselves surrounded. Human ships appeared from nowhere, using technology they had never seen. Ships that could bend light around themselves, becoming invisible until they chose not to be. Ships armed with weapons that should not exist. The commander barely had time to send a distress signal before his fleet was reduced to expanding clouds of superheated gas. The battle lasted 4 minutes. Overlord received the news with disbelief. He ordered his largest battle fleet to assemble. 200 warships, the pride of the Empire, launched toward human space. They would teach these insects their place. The fleet never arrived. Human ships intercepted them in deep space, far from any planet or station. The humans sent a single message before the engagement. "We gave you chances, 18 chances. You chose this." The battle lasted 7 minutes. 198 ships were destroyed. 2 were left intact so they could carry survivors home to tell the story. Panic spread through the Empire, demanded answers. His scientists studied the wreckage of their ships and found evidence of weapons that violated the known laws of physics. Weapons that tore apart molecular bonds. Weapons that created localized singularities. Weapons that made this most advanced technology look like children's toys. Called for help. He went to the Galactic Council, demanding that they intervene. The same council that had dismissed 47 million human deaths as regrettable now held emergency sessions about the losses. The humans were summoned to explain themselves. Returned to the council chamber. She walked with a different posture now. The weariness was gone. In its place was something that made several council members uncomfortable. "You demanded our presence," she said. "We are here." "You have attacked the Empire," the chairman accused. "This is a violation of galactic law." Smiled, it was not a pleasant smile. "We defended ourselves. Your laws permit self-defense." "You destroyed over 200 ships. They were coming to destroy more of our colonies. We stopped them, permanently." Stood, his scales bristling with fury. "You will pay for this. The Empire will crush you. We will burn every one of your worlds. We will hunt down every human in the galaxy." Turned to face him directly. She walked toward him slowly, and something in her eyes made the mighty Overlord take a step backward despite himself. "Let me explain something to you," she said quietly. "We are humans. We evolved on a world that tried to kill us every day. We survived ice ages, plagues, predators, and ourselves. We split the atom before we left our planet. We built weapons that could have ended all life on our world. We chose not to use them. We came to the stars hopping to find friends. We extended our hands in peace to every species we met." She stopped directly in front of, close enough to touch him. "But we never forgot what we are. We are the species that hunted mammoths with sticks. We are the species that conquered our planet despite being slower, weaker, and smaller than 100 other animals. We are the species that survived everything the universe threw at us because we never, ever quit." She turned to address the entire council. "We tried peace. We begged for peace. We submitted to your courts and followed your rules and watched our children die while you called it regrettable. You had 18 chances to do the right thing. You chose to do nothing." She walked back to the center of the chamber. "So now we will show you what humans look like when we stop being nice. We will show you why our ancestors feared the dark. We will show you why every predator on our world learned to fear us. We will show you what happens when you push humanity too far." The council chamber was silent. The Empire has 48 hours to surrender unconditionally, continued. Every leader responsible for the attacks on our colonies will face trial for crimes against humanity. If they refuse, there will be no empire by the end of the week. This is not a negotiation. This is a notification. She began walking toward the exit, then stopped and looked back at the stunned council. One more thing. Any species that attempts to assist will be considered an enemy of humanity. We have enough ships and enough weapons for everyone. Choose wisely. The Empire did not surrender. They believed their size and their history would protect them. They believed the humans were bluffing. It took humanity 6 days to completely dismantle an empire that had stood for 12,000 years. Every military installation was destroyed. Every warship was captured or eliminated. Every leader who had ordered attacks on human colonies was arrested and transported to Earth for trial. The galaxy watched in stunned silence. When it was over, made one final address to the Galactic Council. She stood before them without arrogance, without threats, without the cold anger that had marked her previous visits. "We did not want this," she said simply. "We wanted to trade, we wanted to learn, we wanted to share, we wanted to be your friends. Some of you accepted that. Many of you treated us with kindness, and we will never forget that." She paused, looking at each council member in turn. "But we will also never forget what happens when we offer peace and receive only violence in return. We will never forget that this council watched our people die and did nothing. We will never forget the price we paid for trusting others to protect us." She straightened her shoulders. "Humanity will remain in the galactic community. We will continue to trade. We will continue to offer friendship to any species that wants it. But understand this. We will never again allow others to determine our fate. We will never again rely on the mercy of those who have none. We will never again be victims." She turned to leave, then spoke one last time over her shoulder. "We tried peace. We will always try peace first, but cross us again and you will learn why Earth's final message carried such weight. You will learn why, when humanity speaks of retribution, the wise listen carefully." The council remained silent long after she was gone. In the years that followed, humanity became known throughout the galaxy not for their military power, though that was formidable, but for their fairness, their generosity, and their willingness to help any species in need. They built hospitals and schools on 1,000 worlds. They shared their technology freely. They became the peacekeepers they had once asked others to be. But every species also remembered the 6 days that ended the empire. They remembered what happened when peaceful humans were pushed too far. They remembered that behind every smile was a species born from struggle, forged in conflict, and capable of absolutely anything when protecting those they loved. And whenever a new species asked why humans were treated with such respect, the older species would simply say, "They tried peace first. They always try peace first, but pray to whatever gods you have that they never stop trying." Because when humans stop trying peace, the galaxy learned, the universe itself holds its breath.